B5 Edition 50 is Alpina's birthday present to itself, and to a select band of its customers. Buoyed by its best-ever sales figures, over 1,700 units worldwide in 2014, the family firm of engineers and handcrafters from Buchloe in Bavaria has ramped up the performance of its take on the BMW 5 Series. A revised induction system and a higher-capacity fuel pump take the regular B5 Biturbo's twin-turbocharged 4.4-liter V8 from 532 bhp up to 591 bhp, and torque, an Alpina specialty, goes up by 52 pounds-feet, to 590 pounds-feet. The unit is mated, as usual, to a beefed-up, remapped version of the ZF 8-speed automatic transmission that features in countless BMWs. It's controlled, in the Alpina tradition, by subtle buttons stitched into the back of the steering wheel. Paddles are not offered, even as an option. Beyond the engine mods, the Edition 50 gets a titanium Akrapovic exhaust which brings a slightly louder note and saves 17 kilograms compared with the regular stainless steel unit. There are also forged alloy wheels, which shave off 15.6 kilograms of unsprung mass. Alpina claims 0 to 62 miles per hour will now take 4.2 seconds and that the top speed has increased to 204 miles per hour, making it the fastest vehicle the company has ever produced. Yet CO2 emissions are a still respectable 221 grams/km, thanks to an EU combined economy figure of 29.7 miles per gallon. The numbered production plaque is present and correct, mounted up in the headlining, but Edition 50s also get a dashboard insert personally signed by the company founder, Burkhard Bovensiepen. You can also spec Lavlina leather seats with a checkered blue and green finish, harking back to the B7's turbo coupe of the early 1980s. As with all Alpinas, the B5 Edition 50 goes down the regular BMW production line and is supported by a BMW-backed warranty. This is, in theory, your only chance to buy a B5 for the foreseeable future, since UK importer Sightner no longer sells the conventional 532 bhp model. For starters, this B5 Edition 50 is seriously rapid. The regular B5 never really felt like it had a desperate need for more power or torque, but once you've felt the difference it makes in the Edition 50, you're unlikely to want to hand it back. Peak torque kicks in at a heady 3,500 revolutions per minute, but in truth there's more than enough below 2,000 revolutions per minute to get you moving quickly. Most of the time you'll need lightning reflexes and a gentle right foot to keep the B5 anywhere near the speed limit. The transmission shifts swiftly and smoothly, although it's intelligent enough to hold a gear and allow jaw-dropping, uninterrupted acceleration if you want. The rate with which the B5 Edition 50 can get from 60 miles per hour to 120 miles per hour in 7, for example, is quite astonishing. It will probably not surprise you to learn that the Edition 50 is supremely capable on the Autobahn. On an unrestricted stretch near Alpina's Buchloe base it felt stable at 175 miles per hour and it was still pulling strongly. Slower traffic is likely to intervene long before the engine runs out of puff, we'd say. The exhaust makes a louder noise if you're in either of the B5's more sporting modes, and you can hear deep pulls as you lift off the throttle. From outside the car, there actually crackles. It's not quite as crisp as a Mercedes-AMG rasp, but it has an appealing NASCAR-esque thud if you decide to get a lick on. Equally, in the car's more comfort-orientated settings the engine is barely audible at all, especially at a fast motorway cruise, where it's pulling less than 2,000 revolutions per minute at well beyond the UK speed limit. The ride-in comfort mode is genuinely cosseting, although there's a fair amount of body roll to go with it. The suspension still feels pretty compliant in the sports modes, too, but while the body control is undeniably tighter, the B5's weight means that it's still not that happy about sudden changes of direction. It can't quite disguise its bulk or offer involvement in the same way as, say, a Porsche Panamera, and it's a flaw that's compounded by steering that's deliberately light and frustratingly uncommunicative. Traction is also an issue. Regardless of which setting you're using, the rear tires do squirm under hard acceleration, to the point where we think it could be a right old handful on a wet, bumpy B road. The cabin is little changed from that of the regular B5, but that's no bad thing. The quality of leathers and materials is superb and you get a fair amount of equipment by BMW standards. Then there's the level of exclusivity that Alpina offers. Many buyers relish taking months to choose and fine-tune their car to their exact specification, thanks to a bespoke trim department, and we can't see why they would. Should you have the wherewithal to buy one, you can't. Alpina is producing only 50 B5 Edition 50s, split between saloons and tourings, and the UK allocation of just 2 cars, yes, really, has already sold out. If you want to sample Alpina's most outlandish interpretation of the BMW 4.4-litre V8 engine yet, therefore, you'd better speak to UK importer Sytner about the B6 Edition 50, which uses the same power plant. As for the B5, even with this most emphatic version, it remains a car better suited to regular autobahn work than British B roads. It is every inch a landmark car for Alpina, but perhaps just a little too unwieldy for the confines of the UK. Alpina B5 Edition 50 price £86,850, engine V8, 4395cc, twin-turbocharged, petrol, power 591 bhp at 6,000 revolutions per minute, torque 590 pounds-feet at 3,500 to 4,500 revolutions per minute, gearbox 8-speed automatic, curb weight 1,940 kilograms, top speed 204 miles per hour, economy 29.7 miles per gallon, combined, 0 to 62 miles per hour 4.2 seconds, CO2 emissions, tax band 221 grams/km, 37%.